Hello everyone, how are you? Happy New Year one more time. My last video was super hyper, all about my thrift haul and all the plans. And then I had this idea and a thought, what if somebody has New Year's resolutions and want to start upcycling but don't know how to even use a sewing machine? And funnily, one of our family friends sent me a message with a photo of a sewing machine in a plastic bin and said, "You're not gonna believe me, I found a sewing machine in the basement and I don't know how to use it, but I want to learn." And they asked me if I could teach them how to do it, and I'm very happy to do that. And I think in a couple of weekends or next weekend we're going to visit our family friends, and I'm gonna guide them through step by step at home in person. But I thought I should make a video about how to set up your sewing machine to start learning how to sew. You know, this is where it starts. You can learn by hand, but it takes so long, and sewing machine is a lot more efficient. Sometimes you need to do a very quick fix, or maybe you want to just pick up a new hobby and see what that takes you, you know. So there you go. Let's imagine you just found a sewing machine in your basement, or you just bought one or somebody gave it to you, or there was one lying around at home but you never used it. Who knows? Whatever your background story is, I'm going to guide you through how to set it up. Okay, so first of all, let's make sure we're on the same page and we're using an electric sewing machine, and how to even know. I mean, if you have a very vintage sewing machine, it would be run with a manual pedal where you have to kind of go do-doom, do-doom, do-doom with your feet, or it would have a handle and you would turn the handle. I used that type of machine before in my childhood, and it's actually a lot of fun, and they're very good sewing machines. They're super heavy, they're made out of metal, and it's definitely like antique and vintage and super cool. And I would like to have one of these as a souvenir for my home in the future one day. But for now, I have a very simple one. This brand is awesome. I'm not really advertising, it's just the sewing machine that I happen to have already. It's not a heavy duty pro quality, but to be honest, I have been managing to do pretty much everything with it, and I do want to get a better sewing machine in the future, but I don't want to waste this one either. So I'll see where this one takes me, and when time is right, I'll look into getting like a proper heavy duty sewing machine with more options. So let's get back on track. So let's say you found your sewing machine and it has to have this, okay? You need this. This is the wire, so it goes like that. This is the pedal where you would press to activate it for the motor to go. And this plug will go inside here, right inside here. And this will go obviously inside the electrical socket. There you go. And so the light went on right away. That's a good sign. There is a switch here. If the light doesn't go on, you gotta turn on and off. So to use a sewing machine, you have to have a light on. The pedal goes on the floor because you're gonna need your foot to use it. You're gonna have to drive the sewing machine. Okay. So now to test, if there's no yarn in here, you can do a little test to see if it even works. So very gently, you press the pedal, and so the sewing machine is working, okay? You're gonna need a needle here, and you are going to need 2 yarns. One goes on top, one goes on top here, and I'll show you how to set it up. And the other one will go inside here, the bottom one, okay? So for now, this is it. Now I'm gonna switch the camera to show it from up close so it doesn't get confusing. Alrighty, let's do this. Okay, now that we know that the motor is working of a sewing machine, it has a needle. If it doesn't have a needle, you can buy these. Make sure you buy a good quality needle because they can snap. Even the good ones break once in a while. So get a nice strong needle, and you can change the needle by simply turning this and just pulling it out and then putting it back, okay? Okay, so you tighten up the needle, and now we're gonna have to open this bit. Some sewing machines open like this, some just pulls out, and usually there's a little tray, and you have your little bits and pieces in here. Okay, so you are going to need this for sure. And then we open the bottom. And so this little guy and this, so how to take this off? There's a little handle here. You pull and then like that. And this thing is empty right now, okay? So now if this thing does not have yarn on it, let me show you how to set it up, how to add yarn onto this. Because you don't want to roll it by hand. You want to do it with a machine. Okay, so I couldn't find an empty one of these, and I don't want to waste this entire yarn. So imagine this thing is empty. So you take another yarn color to add on it. You are just going to put it on, hold it with the other finger, and you're going to start rolling just a little bit for it to get secured, okay? And then you're going to place this here and this little guy like this. And you're going to click it here. So you see there's a switch. So what that switch does is it runs the spin into this instead of into the needle, okay? And this bit you're going to hook here, all right? And here. All right, now what I like to do, I usually support this just slightly anyway when I start spinning. And now you're gonna go back to the pedal with your foot and slowly turn it. And you see, that just spins the yarn like that. Okay, and when you are done, when it's full, you can go all the way till the line, and then you can just click it off, remove it, and cut the yarn. Usually here on the side there's a little cutter where you can just hook the yarn and pull. There you go. Okay, so how to put this inside here now? Ooh, where is my yarn? And here it is. Okay, so we need to add this inside this. Okay, so what you want to do is, you see this little, here, it has this little split here. And then it goes in the same direction towards here. So you want the yarn to end up in this crack here. So you want to make sure the yarn is going in the same direction as this little line. You see? So I'm not putting it the other way around. I'm just putting it like this. And then you push that in and click it in here. This is the correct way to do it. So now we're going to go back to the same handle here. So this little handle we're going to take like that. Okay. All right, so I'm holding it like this. And then the little leg on top is pointing up. And here there's a little gap where this thing clicks in. Okay, so you want to put it right in like this and let go, okay? And this has to hang here, the yarn. All right, let's go up on the top part now. Okay, so now this is already here, and I recommend to get a good yarn. This is one of the thinner yarns that I have, but what I like to use is this kind of like heavy duty yarn, because it really gets frustrating when it snaps when you sew, and it just like wastes so much time and it gets you very frustrated. So this yarn will go here now. So you're gonna go under and just like that. So this one I'm not using right now. Then it will go straight down. Straight down here, there's a gap. And then you're gonna hook it here. You see, you follow the arrows. And then you're gonna go up, and there's another hook. So you're gonna go here and down. Sometimes this hook inside is down and it's harder to hook it. But what you can do, you can use the side handle here to turn it up and down gently. So you can maneuver. So if you find it difficult to hook it, you can pull it a little bit up, and then it will be easier to hook. So the yarn, you continue going down with it. Then another hook will be here. Right there. It's easier to do it when I'm not holding a phone. And after that, this will go into the needle. So the bottom one will stay here. Okay, so again, one more tip. Now this is like very fluffy now. I need to cut it freshly. So if I cut this freshly, it will be a lot easier. Use sharp scissors, otherwise you're gonna have this fraying bits and it's really difficult to pierce it through. Okay. And now you simply, and again with the needle, if the needle happened to be inside, like down like this, you can use the same side handle to move the needle in a position where it's comfortable for you to pierce it in. So the yarn you're gonna put from this side to the back. Okay, and now you're gonna grab the end, you're gonna pull it and place it underneath the petal and hang it at the back. Make sure it's long enough, because now we have to pull through this bottom yarn out through this hole. And how we're gonna do that? We're gonna use that side handle with a hand. So we're not using a pedal. This is all manual now. So we're gonna run the needle all the way down, and look what happens. And watch the bottom tray. And there it comes. Keep going up. Now you're turning it clockwise, that handle, and keep turning it. You see this? You see the yarn? The yarn from the top appeared here. So what you want this to keep going around like this, so that now that the yarn is there, I'm gonna take this yarn and I'm gonna pull it all the way. And you see what happened on top? This just popped up. So what I'm gonna do now is just pull the whole thing through. There you go. So now I have both yarns coming out in the same direction. The top one under the petal and the bottom one at the back like this, okay? Here, and then you just let it go. Okay, this is quite long, but you're gonna be cutting them off anyway. So we close this. You can sew like that too, but it's more comfortable when you click everything in. And then what you're going to need is a little cloth, a testing cloth. I just found this scrap. So you're gonna make sure the petal, another thing here is the handle. So you push it down and pull it up. So whenever you're done, you're finished, you lift it up. And then that's how you remove the thing. And when you want to put the textile under, you put it under and you click down, okay? Now, few little things here. So this is where you adjust whether you want straight stitch or whether you want zigzag or any other stitches that you have available. Some of them might not be set up, but I usually use the straight one and the zigzag. You can experiment, you can try them all out because you're gonna have to learn anyway, so you'll feel it out. This one, I like it in the middle. I don't like stitches to be too tight. You can control with this how tight or wide your stitch is. You can also experiment a little bit. I like it just kind of in the middle, 6 or 5 usually, but you can feel it out. Okay, now this is here. This is straight stitch, okay? And this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna press down on the pedal slowly first and see how it's going. All right, so perfect, okay? So now when you sew towards the end, and you wanna secure it, you want it to be firmer. You don't want it to fray easily. What you can do, you can press this with your hand and then press the pedal again, and then it will make it go backwards, and then you can let go and then it will go forward. So if you do a little back and forth, that will secure it. So when you're done, you can again manually use this to lift out the needle so you don't break it, and then you use that handle to lift the pedal up, and you remove this and the yarn comes out, and this is where you go up here and you can cut it off. You can also use scissors, up to you. So this now is already prepped for the next. I like to pull it just a little bit because when that yarn is too short, when you start to sew, it slips out of the needle and then you have to set up the whole thing again. Okay, so now let's try to do a little bit of a zigzag. So press it down. So here, let's do the zigzag. Same thing. Also another way, if you're sewing a lot of things, and this doesn't have to be fully secure yet because you're gonna sew again this way, so you can just keep going until it's finished, and you can just pull it out. It doesn't fray as easily, but some things maybe you need it extra secure, so you can do that back and forth. And you can do the back and forth thing at the beginning too, when you just start, to double secure it. Okay, alrighty, so I think I went through the whole thing. And remember, when you go in here, now this thing, I use it only for when I'm spinning the yarn here. I learned how to set my machine up when I was a kid, so you know, this is how I've been doing it for my whole life. And it's been working, okay? So if sometimes you have a situation where you press on the pedal or you're sewing and machine suddenly goes and like, and it's like, this kind of like stuck sound, stop sewing and check the bottom, because the chances are that the yarn in here got tangled up. So you remove this and check everything. Maybe you need to dust, because when you sew, the lint will fall in the machine. So you can just give it like a little brush and you take out this and you check if there's stuck yarn, and then reset it again, and that should help. Don't force it if the pedal is like kind of like getting stuck. Don't force it, because you can break the mechanism and you don't want to do that. It's often something really simple like tangled yarn. And check that nothing got loose and all that stuff. Okay, I hope I guided you through the basic, and I hope my family friend Carlos is going to learn sewing with this video, and then I'm gonna help him also in person too. Yay! So I hope this helped and I didn't confuse you. And I hope you can practice using a sewing machine or learn for the first time, or maybe you forgot and needed a reminder how to do it. That happens too. Once in a while, if I take a longer break, well, by now it's like riding a bicycle for me, but in the past, after taking quite a while and I haven't used sewing machine for a bit, I kind of forgot, but then when I started like putting them together, it just all came back to me, and that can happen. And okay, so here it is. This video is about how to set up your sewing machine and how to do the first steps to learn how to sew. And then from that point on, you just practice, you know, just try, test. Don't be scared to fail, because fails will happen, but then you'll learn. You can always use some old clothes for trying to figure out how to do this and that, because if they're old, you're not gonna lose a lot. And yeah, and next video after this will be on upcycling cardigans. I've been working and sewing on patching up some cardigans, creating some new looks from old textiles, and I think that's gonna be quite fun. So stay tuned. I keep saying stay tuned. The stew word is like at the tip of my tongue, so stay tuned. Stay tuned. Subscribe, like. You can also turn on notifications to keep getting updates of when the new video comes out. But it's gonna be a new video every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And I hope you enjoy it. Please comment. Don't be shy to say what your opinions are. Even if you want to tell me, actually, I do it like this and I prefer it like that, let me know. I'm happy to learn and pick up new habits or try out different things. And yeah, okay. Have a great day. Happy sewing. Love and peace. Bye.